Good afternoon. Third time's a charm. This one's for real. We're going to get started. Great to see everybody out today. You know, it's let me say welcome to the 2018 SOAR Summit. Give yourselves a hand for being here. Give the booths a hand. It's incredible, these projects that are demonstrating the proof that there is a future in Appalachia. Sharing with somebody earlier, you know, things aren't perfect. We've not solved all the problems, but we are making progress. Things are changing. People are doing innovative, incredible things. And most importantly, people's lives are being changed. And I've got to meet several of them over the last year that have jobs that didn't exist 2 years ago or 3 years ago, are involved in projects that have happened because ideas started through this network. So pretty incredible to be here. I'm going to give some housekeeping things here to get us started, just to get us on track for the day. First thing, the booths they were open from noon to 1 today, and then we're going to have some 15-minute breaks throughout this afternoon. The booths aren't open then, but you're welcome to kind of walk around and network a little bit. But the booths will be open full on again this evening for the reception. And if you didn't pre-register for the reception, you can pay at the door. You can come tonight. I invite you to come back if you're not signed up. It's going to be an awesome time. The Kentucky Opry's putting on a full 1-hour variety show from 6 to 7. And then we've got hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and all the booths will be open from 7 to 8:30. Just a great evening of networking. And we've got about 300 people registered for that tonight already. And if you are part of the booths, if you're a vendor, you're welcome to come to that. You don't have to register for the reception. You're welcome to come enjoy the show and then work your booth. We plan to have those open until 8:30 tonight. Sound good? Also, we got some Summit t-shirts. We pre-sold some of those. If you didn't pre-order one, at our booth over here on stage right, near the tanker. Yeah, I just said near the tanker on the floor of the expo. That's cool, isn't it? It's pretty neat. We've got t-shirts for sale, Summit t-shirts. In the back of it says it's a new day. You can see the information in the program. Please find you one of those. And if you pre-purchased one of those, we've got those upstairs for you, and they'll be available, I know, tomorrow. I'm not sure when. We'll get back to you on that. But we do have those for you. So 2 days this year, we have traditionally just done this as one day, but we thought this year, let's do some optional pre-summit sessions where we're going to get into a little bit more of working sessions, and we didn't know how many people would register. We really didn't know, and we thought maybe 150 or 200, and we ended up with 600 total registered for both days and 1,200 registered for tomorrow. Just overwhelmed us. We're incredibly excited about it. So the rest of the day, we planned on doing this session upstairs in the ballroom, and obviously we would not fit in there, so we're doing it here. And we split the breakouts. We're going to do the tech track. If you want to be a part of that, we're going to do that on the floor here this afternoon, starting at 2:15, talking about broadband, and then 3:30, talking about how do we leverage broadband to transform our communities. And the health track this afternoon is right there in the ballroom. So you go back up to where registration is, and there's an elevator or stairs up to the ballroom. So 2 sessions up there this afternoon as well. Today's meant to be more of an informal conversation type working session. So let's be engaged and involved and be a part of the process. We've got some innovation awards we're giving out this year, sponsored by BB&T. We'll be announcing those tomorrow to several of the booths that are here. Just saying thank you for continuing to be a champion of your idea, thinking outside the box, and making things happen. Let's see. Tomorrow morning is the big session. That's the summit. If you've been to the summit before, that's the day we're all used to, where it's 9 a.m. and everybody's stressed out. and the governor's late. And so that's the day. We invite you to come back for that. You don't want to miss it. The governor is going to be late tomorrow. Actually, he's coming at 11, and him and Congressman Rogers are making several announcements in the 11 o'clock hour. You want to be here for that. Congressman Rogers is going to be with us for the entire day tomorrow. Most importantly, we're showing several videos we've put together of projects. We went and interviewed the people whose lives have been changed through work that started at this event. And we want you to see that. We want you to experience it and know we're going to do more of it. That's the important thing. So we want you here in the morning. Again, I think we were at 1,150 some registered for tomorrow. So that'll go from 9 till noon, and then tomorrow we'll have lunch provided for everybody, sponsored by Kentucky Proud. Appreciate that. And all the booths will be open during lunch, and tomorrow afternoon, lots more networking time built in. We realized early on in planning these that the best thing we can do is set the thing in motion and then get out of the way and let you all connect and do the work you need to do that you need to get done. And so we're trying to do more and more of that and less of somebody at a podium. So thank you for that. Also got a great keynote tomorrow. Vinnie Bowles, the Major General retired, who was responsible. He was in charge of all the logistics for the military following 9/11. And he's going to share a great lessons and his experience and leadership and how it relates to what we're trying to do. You know, the title of his session is, "There have always been times like these." You know, sometimes we feel like we've got it rough. It's been hard the last few years, but there have always been times like these, and he shares from his experience being in those times and some lessons on how to work through it and lead through it. So that's what we're going to talk about. Today, this entire pre-summit session was sponsored by KCTCS, and we appreciate their support and their help to make it happen. Here to welcome you on their behalf is Dr. Jennifer Linden, who's the president and CEO at Hazard Community and Technical College. Give her a big welcome to the stage.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Dr. Jay Box and the Kentucky Community and Technical College System, I welcome you to the annual SOAR Summit. KCTCS is a proud sponsor of Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR, initiative, and we are also a sponsor of this afternoon's sessions. Through the help of SOAR, we have been able to begin many projects, such as our Digital Careers Now program, where we have technology hubs on 3 of our KCTCS campuses. Also, we have started our HCTC telemedicine program, which is the only one of its kind in the nation. And we have begun to train our technical instructors in entrepreneurial skills. These are just a few of the projects that I have personally worked on along with SOAR members. And as I talk to leaders in the region, they are very excited about opportunities to diversify our economy. I have watched this summit begin, and I have watched it continue to grow. And there is a future in Appalachia. Thank you.
KCTCS has been an incredible partner. We work with all 5 community colleges in the Appalachian region. Not only have they supported us, but they've taken ownership of the plan and what we're trying to do and change. They're doing incredible new programs, a lot of them here on Showcase today, so go check those out. This session, this opening session that's focused on leadership, has been sponsored by Leadership Kentucky. Any alums from Leadership Kentucky in the room? I see several hands going up. Leadership's been a core focus of SOAR for the last 5 years on how do we develop and grow leaders within the region. So this is a great program, and we're thankful for their sponsorship today. And we have the president of Leadership Kentucky here with us to give you a welcome. And she's also from Eastern Kentucky, from Appalachia, Kentucky, which makes her even better, right? No? Yes, okay. I'm just making sure everybody's still awake. Give Janice Way a big welcome to the stage.
Well, thank you for that resounding yes from Eastern Kentucky. Good afternoon, everyone. As Jared said, my name is Janice Way, or for those of you from Pikeville, I'm Janice Sword Way. Maybe a name that's a little more familiar to you here. Leadership Kentucky is pleased to be part of the SOAR Summit this year and to support the leadership discussions this afternoon. Like SOAR and so many of the initiatives that all of you are involved with, our goal at Leadership Kentucky is to improve the region we live in, grow economic development opportunities, and create networks of inspired folks who want to help with these initiatives and really improve our state, as the Leadership Kentucky slogan is, improve our state. Jared and Josh asked me to take just a couple of minutes to share with you about Leadership Kentucky, for those of you who may not be familiar with us. Leadership Kentucky was formed in 1984. We had our very first class in 1985, so next year will be our 35th anniversary. And we have about 1,600 alums throughout the state. And in fact, I was talking to two people from last year's class here this afternoon. Leadership Kentucky is very similar to the local leadership programs that you all might be familiar with, except we are statewide. A recent alumni survey that we did earlier in the year showed that about 90% of the alums felt that they were more knowledgeable about and involved with local and state issues and projects as a result of their participation in Leadership Kentucky. Currently, we have 3 programs. Our core Leadership Kentucky program, the one that's almost 35 years old, is for more experienced leaders. The average age of the participants, mid-30s to mid-60s. We have 7 sessions, and we travel all throughout the state. In fact, we're going to be here in Pikeville in just a couple of months. Last year, the class went to Hazard, and we were actually at Jennifer's College last year in Hazard. But we've traveled throughout the state discussing issues and touring places that the average person doesn't get an opportunity to go into. For example, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be at Fort Campbell, and we're going to get to hang out with the military and see the difficulty of what they actually do in their training there. And it's fun to watch people in our class try to repel and do some of the things that the soldiers do so easily. It's not so easy, trust me. Elevate Kentucky is a relatively new program. It's for the younger professionals, about mid-20s to mid-30s. It's more personal leadership development as they begin their journey into being a good leader for our communities. And finally, our 3rd program, it's actually going to be held next week, is called New Executives to Kentucky. And we have several people from Eastern Kentucky involved with it next week. That's for senior level folks who are new to the state, relatively new, like 2 years or less. And we bring them to Frankfort for the day, and it's a one-day cultural and political immersion into everything Kentucky. So that's just a quick overview of our 3 programs. We're always looking for great candidates for all 3 of the programs, especially people from Eastern Kentucky. So if you're interested or know someone who would be a good candidate, please let us know. I'm going to be around all day tomorrow and today, so please feel free to reach out to me to learn more about Leadership Kentucky, and thanks for the opportunity to be a part of the SOAR Summit, and have a great 2 days. Thank you.
All right, guys. So what we want to do now, what I want to take some time to do, is talk to you about SOAR and our blueprint for a 21st century Appalachia and the role of leadership in it. This is going to be let me first say, when we said we're going to have a session on leadership the first day, I did not say I'm going to give it. We had somebody else planned, and so I'm plan B. So just think about that when you're ranking me. It's like, oh, he was plan B, so it wasn't supposed to be great, it's just supposed to be okay. But what I want to do is take this opportunity to give you some insight into the work that we're doing, the vision we have for what we're trying to do. And when I say the role of leadership, I really mean the role of each of you. I'm not going to talk about SOAR. I really want to talk about us. Because one thing I've really learned in the last few years is that while SOAR has been beneficial, I think the truth of the matter is that we really needed all of each other more than we needed another organization. And we've tried to do our best to be that convener, facilitator, connector, to make sure we're all working together. We keep calling a meeting every year. Every year I wonder, are they coming back? And y'all do. So, and the benefit is not because SOAR, it's because there's momentum. There's momentum in what you're doing, and you've been a critical piece of that. As I thought about leadership, and you've probably heard me say this before, so November will be 4 years, November 1st will be 4 years since I took the full-time position at SOAR as the founding executive director. And in those first few months, I went to the UK archives and dug up the meeting notes from the 60s about work that had been done in Appalachia and planning that had been done in Appalachia by the East Kentucky Regional Planning Commission. I found this page up here, this agenda that you can't read, and you're not supposed to be able to read it, but it's an agenda from 1961. It was a meeting in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, and it looked eerily similar to a lot of the meetings we had early on. A lot of the same partners were at the table, a lot of the same conversations. The agenda items were talking about Eastern Kentucky as a tourism destination. They were talking about how to increase infrastructure so we can do industrial development. A lot of the same conversations. Through that study, this was a paragraph that came up, and I just want to read it to you. A couple of highlights here. It says the commission, this is circa 1961, after exhaustive study has reached two basic conclusions. Now, remember, this is 57 years ago. Two basic conclusions. The first is that no program of general development can succeed in any reasonable fashion until certain basic regional developments are provided for. And they were talking at that time about water, roads, infrastructure, the basic necessities of getting people connected. We, again, 50 years later, we're still working on that, but boy, we've come a long way on that side of the coin. There's still work to do, but yeah, I didn't drive in 1961. Some of you may have. Can I get a testimony that says it's better today than it was then? It's better. I got an amen. Again, I'm doing good. But today we're talking about broadband as the 21st century connectivity, the founding connector that gives us the opportunity. And so they said that. That's what I say when I'm around speaking. I say, we got a blueprint. Yeah, it's got seven goals. The first one is broadband, and the other 6 are what are we going to do with it. Whether we're talking about tourism or public health or industrial recruitment or small business development, this is the founding. This is the thing that changes our opportunity to transform our communities. So that's what they said then. Certain things had to be done. And then the second conclusion is that there must be formulated a concurrent, comprehensive regional program of development affecting all phases of human endeavor in this area. This is people talking about Eastern Kentucky and Appalachia, Kentucky. I really believe he was right. And I think that's been the message that we've put forward from the beginning, is that in the words of Congressman Rogers, there's no silver bullet, there's silver BBs. There's this idea that not one of these booths, we got 70 or something on the floor here, not one of these booths is going to transform and change Eastern Kentucky. But when the work becomes connected beneath the vision of the regional blueprint, and we say, oh yeah, health really is important when it comes to industrial recruitment. When we say workforce training really is important when it comes to health. Oh, broadband really is important when it comes to delivering telemedicine and specialty services in rural communities. When we see the value and the benefit of each piece of this puzzle, and that comprehensive effort is the key to accomplishing what we're trying to accomplish. Today, I spent a few minutes talking about the past, but I really want to talk about the future. We launched this website maybe 4 or 5 months ago, back in the spring. I woke up in the middle of the night, about 2 in the morning, and I said, you know what? I'm tired of what everybody else has to say about Eastern Kentucky. And I woke up and I used this tagline for the debate is over, or we believe the debate is over, there's a future in Appalachia, Kentucky. I used that last year when we were promoting the summit. I thought, man, we got to do something. We got to create a way to tell the story, not of SOAR, but of what's happening in Eastern Kentucky, a central place that we can send to students, a central place we can send to everybody that works in our organization, that we can talk to our friends about, that we can just get the word out there, that no, not everything's perfect, but there are some good things going on. And so this became the space for us to do it. So at like 2 in the morning on my phone, I was on GoDaddy looking for there'safuture.com, and it was taken, and that's how we got there'safuture.org. Plan B. But that was pretty incredible. I thought, that's cool. All right, we got it. And then we went into the office and we said, what are we going to do with this? What are we trying to tell? What are we trying to say? Because the reason I felt like it was time to do it is just pretty simple. Because I believe it. And I think the people that are here believe it. I know our team in the office, they believe it. I'm seeing people across the room saying, yeah, I really do believe it, that this is really happening. So why did I believe it? 3 reasons. I'm going to talk through them today, but just big headings. 1, we've got a plan. I could stop there, and that is a tremendous undertaking accomplished. I was speaking in St. Louis a month ago, and to the Southern Legislative Council. There was legislators from all over the southern United States. When they found out we had a plan, they said, and not just a plan, but a plan that had input from people across the region, that built consensus across the region, that our elected officials, our local people are bought into. They were like, that is such a big deal. Because we're no longer at this summit saying, what should we do? What are the problems? Like, we have a plan. Hey, there, picture in a picture. That was neat. The plan. We also, this year, we put together 10 core values. They're in your program. You can read them. I'm going to use a few of them today. I'm not going to hit every one of them, but this is a leadership session. This is a core value of what we do every day in our office and what we believe. We commit to be the driving force that embraces and drives change to create a 21st century Appalachia. That's our every day. We are the one that's going to share the story, that we want to encourage you. We want to share your story. It's not everything SOAR has done. SOAR is not going to do everything, but we want to be the champion. We want to support your work. In doing that, to accomplish it, being a leader, our goal is to create more leaders. We need you to be the best, to have the most resources, you have the best network, everything you need to do what you're dreaming about. Because there are things all over this floor, and you'll see some of it tomorrow, that started out as an idea a year ago, 2 years ago, and now it's a tanker truck on the floor of the arena. Started out as an idea, and everybody in here, you got something. You're excited about what you've done to date, but everybody in here is a leader. You're thinking about next year, tomorrow, next week. What are we working on? What's the next thing we've got to get done? And so we want to support you in that. We want to be the helper that helps make things happen. The plan, you see that, 7 goals. Hopefully, you've heard that enough over the last 2 years. You see it in the program. We've got full blueprints somewhere in here if you want to read 20 pages about it. But this is it. Broadband, a 21st century workforce, healthy communities, small business in the digital economy, industrial development, regional foods, and tourism are creating Eastern Kentucky as a destination. Those are the 7 goals. Each of those have some objectives, and you can read those objectives and say, how can my organization make a difference in that? How can we help with that? What can I do to make a difference in that goal? And that's what makes it powerful, because not only do we have the plan, this is the second part of the website, we have the partners. When we initially put the campaign out for There's a Future, you may have seen a billboard or a commercial on WYMT or EKB, or saw it on a web ad. We cast a wide net. And it didn't say SOAR on it anywhere, because it wasn't about us. It wasn't a SOAR campaign. It was a PR campaign for the region. And we wanted people to see it and say, oh, well, who says there's a future here? Because that's not what most people hear. If you've got kids, if you have nieces and nephews, we know the mantra's been, get out of here, get out of here. Well, we're telling them a different story. We're showing them that, and we wanted on this site to disprove every notion they had when they got on. We wanted to see that people are doing things. There are innovative things happening. There are new jobs being created. There are new businesses being created. There is progress happening, and there's opportunity here for the next generation. And we wanted to say, well, who's saying this? Who's part of this? And then you click the partners page, and you see, oh, it's not just somebody, it's over 200 individuals and organizations that said, you know what? We're going to put skin in the game. We're going to do something about it. We agree with you. This is what we're going to do. 200. This is, let's see if this, wait, let me see. Yeah, right here. These are the blueprint partners, small businesses. We got yoga on Main all the way up to Pikeville Medical Center. This is when we created the Blueprint Partnership Program, which you may be a part of, you may not. We'd love for you to be a part. We wanted anybody to be able to say, I want my name on the list. I want to help, communicate with me, tell me what I can do to help. And we've really just kind of soft launched this over the last 6 to 9 months, and had a great response. There's all kinds of different ways to contribute and be a part of it. And you see all our corporate partners here who are giving at larger levels that we couldn't be here today without. But we got a plan, and we've got the partners. Not just partners who are giving to SOAR, that's not what it's about. Partners who are committing to help implement the plan. SOAR is not an expert on broadband. We don't do broadband work. We don't necessarily go into a community and do planning. The Center for Rural Development, they're experts on broadband. They don't, we're not the same organization, but in the big blueprint of SOAR, they are our partner that's helping go into communities and give you training and access to resources and explain to you how to fund broadband. We don't do that, but the Center for Rural Development's a blueprint partner. They're our partner on broadband. We also got people like Keith Gabbard and People's Rural Telephone that said, you know what? SOAR's not going to build fiber to every home, but we in our organization, we've done it. And not only have we done it, but we're bringing price down and we're offering higher speeds, and they're doing incredible things. And you got people like Mayor of Moorhead, Jim Tom Trent, that says, you know what, we want broadband in Moorhead. We're going to take, SOAR's not going to come to Moorhead and make broadband happen, but I believe in it, and I'm going to take Moorhead, and we're going to figure out how to get broadband there. That's how this works in every one of these goals. People take ownership and begin to make a difference. Networks are different than they used to be. This is what used to be on the left is my parents' world, this hierarchical network. Somebody at the top thought. Somebody at the bottom did. What we're finding is that real networks, every node is connected to each other. And that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the more people you've met in this room, the more people you know, and I guarantee you this year you know more names and faces from communities and organizations that you knew last year or the year before. You're learning more people. This is a proven fact. The density of a network drives innovation. And it's absolutely what we have to do. There are people working together in projects now that I would have never dreamed would have been working together on projects, and they're just doing incredible things. I want to talk through this just real quickly, and we've been thinking about this. It's kind of academic. I'm not academic, try not to be, but sometimes we think this way because it's important. We just try not to let you know we're thinking this way. There's really 5 levels of collaboration. And when we first started, we were somewhere around acknowledgement, which really meant that we just acknowledged each other. We acknowledged other counties, we acknowledged other organizations. Oh yeah, they're over there doing this. And at that point, there's really nothing happening. The next level is exploration. You start talking to each other. And you're learning a little bit more about each other, and you're just kind of filling this thing out. And then there's a level of cooperation. At this point, you start actually sharing some information, some things you know that you probably would not have shared otherwise. And the next level is collaboration, where you don't just share information, you share resources. And in this world, boy, I mean, we've lived in a world where it's been dog eat dog for every federal state grant that came available, right? Like we're fighting tooth and nail. It's what we've been trained to do. I'm not going to tell them that this is a grant opportunity. Well, I'm not going to work together to apply for this grant and share resources. But it's changing. It's a lot different today than it was 5 years ago. And then innovation is where this really starts to happen. Is you're not just collaborating, you are co-creating. Like you come together, not with a plan already, but you get together with 2 or 3 other people and you co-create a program or an idea. Now here's the world. Those first 2 levels, it's all about turf. It's all about this is mine, 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 mine. You can't get on it. These are my counties. These are my this. This is my program. I do small business. You can't do small business. I do food. You're trying to do food. Well, that's not fair. I got the health clinic here, and as you see, it's turf, and I understand that to a point. But where we have to get is to this other section. The reality is the people in this room have to be a family. We've got to trust each other. Do y'all trust each other? Some? You know the ones you do and the ones you don't? We have to trust each other. You can't be innovative, you can't co-create, you can't do things together if you don't trust each other. This is kind of where we've been. All right? This is it. We may not come right out and say it, but we keep our cards close because it's about our turf and it's about us. What collective impact is about, which is what SOAR champions, is coming together and coming up with collective common goals. And in saying, you know what, it's not just about me. We all agreed on these common goals. How are we going to accomplish it? And why does it matter? Well, why does it matter? Because the future of our community rests on it. You know that right now in Appalachia and Eastern Kentucky, what we're up against, what we're trying to accomplish is to employ 30,000 people. Now, when you hear that number, you say, shut down the summit, let's go home, it's too much. But the reality is, in just where we're getting started, there's been over 5,000 jobs created. Like we've chipped a huge part of it off. And that's not including ones that have been announced but aren't all the way to fruition yet. The work, not SOAR, the work that you all are doing, like we are making a difference. But there's a neighbor, there's a family member, there's people in your community that you know that their future is in the hands of the leaders of their community. And it puts the onus on us to figure this out and to have some common goals and to commit together to create them. The third thing that I'll share is that we had the plan, we have the partners, but as you'll see today and tomorrow, we have proof. There's proof that it's working. One program alone, let's take Teleworks USA, years ago was an idea. It's been owned and championed by several different leaders and people across the region. In the last several years, at the first SOAR Summit, Jeff Whitehead, maybe the second summit, Jeff Whitehead stood up and said, we're going to commit to open more hubs. And we're going to commit to try to hire more people. And at this point, almost 2,000 more people have jobs and remote work opportunities than when Jeff Whitehead stood up and said that. And all kinds of people played huge roles in that. It's proof that it's working. You'll see it all around. This is another one of our core values, purpose. We live with purpose. Purpose is the overarching belief that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. Each and every partner has an individual purpose to pursue in building a 21st century Appalachia. That means there are things that will not get done if you don't own it. There will be things that you want to see get done that won't get done if you don't own it. In your own life, in your organization, in your community, there are things that just won't get done if somebody doesn't take it and run with it. So there's several different ways to engage, 3 ways in the work that we're doing. One is as an individual. Attend, participate, engage in your community, sign up as a Blueprint partner. SOAR as an organization is in a transition. We are building an independent organization. We're a nonprofit. We are not a state agency. If you saw 2 weeks ago, our executive board met, the governor and congressman. We elected a private sector chair of our board. We got 6 of 9 new board members. We are led and will continue to be led by people from the region. That's where this thing rests. That's where the hope of this thing rests, is that our people own it, that they take leadership in it and participate in it. The second way is through your organization. If you run a health clinic, you run a hospital, you're a mayor, you're a county judge, you're a teacher. Well, what can I do as a teacher? Tell every one of your kids there's a future in Appalachia. Send them to the website. Read the blueprint and realize that STEM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, is critically important to the work that we're doing. Think about how you and your school implement that into your work, into your curriculum. and how do you bring those opportunities to those students? Look at the new job opportunities that are coming down the pike, and are we preparing them for the work that is really here and available? The third way is as a community, and this is really some work I'd like to see start this year. Is traditionally from the beginning, SOAR had regional working groups and people put together around issues working regionally. So we had regional groups on health, regional groups on broadband. What I would like to see, and we've kind of piloted it down in Hyden in Leslie County, is community-based teams or action teams focused on all 7 goals of the blueprint. So that you, maybe an existing partner in your organization, your chamber, your Rotary, or whatever it might be, to say, you know what, I'll take leadership in that and bring in some different people together in my community and say, what are we doing about broadband? What are we doing about workforce? What are we doing about small business? And we got a draft of it. It's not ready yet. But we've converted this blueprint into a community-based checklist that can really give you some direction on things that your community can be working on. Here's 2 points really. The future, I think, of Appalachia, Kentucky hinges on 2 big things. One is our willingness, our ability to work together. 2 things here, harmoniously and simultaneously. That means we're not just, all right, everybody's going to work on broadband, and then when we get it done, then we'll work on workforce. This means everybody takes ownership at the same time of all 7 of these areas, and they're connected and they're happening at the same time, and everybody's making progress on all ends and all fronts. The second thing is, I don't think we can solve the problem that we're trying to solve without technology and innovation. The idea that what the first thing we read from circa 1961 that said, I don't think any regular program of work, I don't think any traditional approach to economic development by itself can solve these problems. That it's got to be something innovative. It's got to be leveraging connectivity and technology. I think we have to work together, and I think we have to figure that out. I will share a story. Make sure I'm good on time. Hey, I might get you out early. Will that be okay? So it was just a few weeks ago. I was in Frankfurt for a consulting or a day-long conference on innovation, and they had a consultant there that was talking about how to build entrepreneurial networks and grow more small business owners and build density in these networks and small businesses. And he was from Research Triangle down in North Carolina. Hair different than Eastern Kentucky. And he's talking great points and great presentations. And we had several of us from Eastern Kentucky sitting around a round table, and we were talking about what he was talking about. And he was saying it's so important, just get people together. Even if it's informal, get all your entrepreneurs and your startups together. And I'm thinking, man, ours are spread out, like all across like mountains. And so he came around to our table, and I just grabbed him. I said, hey, lots of people are throwing around this idea of, in rural communities, can you connect people digitally? Can you create a digital space where you get your entrepreneurs and your leaders together within the region and start building density that way, so that they're sharing, saying, hey, I'm doing video production. Hey, I'm trying to start this digital marketing company. Let's partner on something and make a new company. That's how it works in urban areas. But it happens in coffee shops, and when you have one block that has more population than one county in Eastern Kentucky. And so I asked him about that, and I said, well, this is how I worded it. I said, and this is really the truth, we've got, within the interstates of Eastern Kentucky, we've got about 1/4 of the geography of the landmass of Kentucky. And this is inside the interstate. And the largest populated town is about 7,000. And I said, so if, say you're serving a fourth of the state and your largest town, your largest community it's about 7,000. And this is what people from not here say. He said, good luck with that. And at first, I got mad. And then second, I said, I can't wait to send you an email in 2 years and show you what the people of Eastern Kentucky can do. Because I believe we can do it. But the thing is, the ideas that we're going to talk about today, the ideas that are all around us, and I say this all the time, ideas come with great responsibility. Because nobody's going to champion it. Nobody's going to own it like you are. Nobody's going to care as much about it as you do. What we want to be able to do is come along beside you when you have an idea and you're working on a project and get you past the hurdles, get you more resources, and we want to help you make it a reality. Connect you to the right people. Make it possible. Make it real, tangible. Make a difference. So today and tomorrow I'm going to leave you with 3 things I'd like for you to do as takeaways from the summit. The first thing is be inspired. I think this is critically important. I know it's like touchy-feely and, oh, Jared, be inspired. We're here to get work done and build stuff. I tell you, if you don't have hope, if communities don't have hope, there's not a lot of innovation and work going on. What I want you to see today, and this is why we said, you know what? We're going to put the evidence. We want people to just be overwhelmed, to experience the proof that things are working. Be inspired. And if you're inspired, then you're going to go back and do something. You're going to change something. You're going to be fired up. You're going to be ready to go. I want you to leave fired up and ready to go. And everybody said, well, this talk ain't helping any. Get some work done. Listen, there's going to be people here over today and tomorrow that you've been saying for 3 months, I wish I could find so-and-so. I've got to get to Frankfort and meet with this agency. I'd love to talk to those people at Kentucky Wired. They got a booth right over there. I'm calling them out. You want to talk to them? They're here. You've been wanting to get to the mayor of such and such town. You want to get to this. These 2 days, like, man, get it done. The people you need to talk to, anybody, everybody, like, it's incredible for me to be a part of it and see the convening of people that come together over these 2 days. So get some work done, get some business cards, build some relationships, meet new people. Do that today and tomorrow. And then the last thing that is really important is to leave with a goal. Leave with something in mind that you can say, you know what, I don't have that done today. It's an idea, but I want a booth next year at the summit. Next year, I'm going to be sitting over there, and this is what I'm going to have done before we come back next year. And when you set that goal, get the work done behind it, get all your money while you're here. Everybody that's giving out grants, there's all kinds of resources. Line it up. It ain't us. We don't have much money to give out. We help where we can. But their partners are going to be here. So be inspired, get some work done, and leave with a goal. Let me finish with this and just say, these 2 days are crazy in our office, planning, really probably the last month. It's been all we've done. In the last week to 2 weeks, I've slept some, our team has slept some. But this morning I was back there finishing up my notes on this. Just got an email from a guy I've known a long time. I don't know, he might be here. And he just said this, good luck today and tomorrow. Best of luck with the summit. Thanks for all your hard work. He must not know me too well. I don't work too hard. Our team does, and we do put hours in. But I thought that's the best thing I can leave you all with. is simply this: thank you. All of y'all are in roles and positions. You're up against tough deadlines, high expectations, not enough resources. You got the world to change and no money to do it with, but yet you keep fighting through. And you're coming back. You're saying, yeah, it's been hard and it's tough, but we're not quitting. And that's what gives me confidence about the work that we're doing. What gives me confidence about the website we launched, the campaign, and it's what gives me confidence we'll be here again next year. And there's going to be, I don't know, we got a tanker this year. It's going to be tough to what do you do after a tanker? Satellite. We're going to have a satellite here that's been, where's it been? Cave Run? Has been to Cave Run and back. All right, so incredible things to see here today. Also excited, we got schools. We got booths here with kids that tell you they're putting everybody in this, in the world that we live in as adults. They're giving us some competition. It's pretty incredible, the stuff that they're doing. Go see them, engage with them, talk to them. You'll agree that, man, we got a bright future ahead of us if we stay connected. So, what are you going to do? You're going to be inspired. You're going to get some work done. You're going to set some goals. Individual goals, organizational goals, community goals, whatever it might be. Your goal might be, you know what, I'm going back next week. We're pulling a coalition together for our town, and we'll get the right people together, and we're going to start making some changes. You call us, we'll help you. We'll find a way to help you, and we will make a difference in your community. Truth is, the future hinges on you and me and everybody watching. We're live streaming today, and I had a guy post on Facebook a couple of years ago, and he posted and he said, you know, it's probably just another one of those things. I'm gonna sit back and watch and see what happens. See what happens. And that's not the attitude of the people in this room. And the question we all have to answer is, will we own it? Will we own the work that we're doing? Will we not blame other people? Will we not wait for something, some big announcement to save us? But will we say, you know what? We have some skin in this, a role in this. What can we do as a community, as an organization, as an individual to impact our own future? And that's what we're going to do for the next 2 days. You're going to meet new people. You're going to get new information, new resources, and you're going to go back and change the world, because that's what we do, and that's what you do. And I thank you for that. All right? What time is it? I think I'm good. So, 2 o'clock. We're right at 2 o'clock. We're going to break right now, 15-minute break. We'll come right back here talking about broadband. We've got Kentucky Wire, we've got the Center for Rural Development, Keith Gabbard and Mayor Trent from Moorhead, talk about all aspects of how you build out a broadband network and what the status is. And then we've got, in 15 minutes, the health breakout upstairs, and we'll be starting right at 2:15. All right? Thanks, guys.